Have you been thinking about relocating your neighbor's copper pipes to the scrapyard? You might be in the market for a used Dakota. Now, of course, I'm joking. Having a Dodge Dakota does not mean that you steal your neighbor's copper pipes, but there is no better friend in the scrap game than a Dakota. That's right behind me, we got a 2002 Dodge Dakota with 170,000 miles, and we are going to decide if it's a buy or if it's a bust. Starting our outside tour, I want to say that I always thought these looked kind of nice. These are a little larger than the Ranger and the S10. I think Dodge did a pretty good job. Now, we are going to talk about the number one issue with these trucks right off the bat, and you're probably already figuring it out, and that is rust. These are very susceptible to rust, from the wheel wells to the frames, the cross members. Everything on these things rusts pretty consistently if you're anywhere in the salt belt. As we move around the back, you can see even more rust on the bumper, so it's not just the body panels. The paint shines pretty nice though, honestly, for the age on this thing, but you really just have to check these over extremely well if you're interested, so that you don't end up with a rust bucket or something that's unsafe to drive. Under the hood of the Dodge Dakota, we have the Magnum 3.7 liter V6. Now, even though it's called Magnum, this thing is not huge, and the horsepower numbers aren't either. The horsepower is 210 horsepower, 235 pound-feet of torque. Dodge did offer one other engine. It was the 4.7 liter V8, and while a lot of people do prefer that engine, this one isn't necessarily terrible, but it does have some common problems. This engine, as you heard in the video, is running pretty good. You might have noticed a little ticking. That's pretty common on these. Sometimes it can be like valve train actually in your engine, but most of the time it is actually just exhaust manifold. That's common on the 4.7 and the 3.7 engine. The biggest problem with these engines is oil sludge buildup. If people let the oil changes go too long, oil builds up inside the engine, creates some excess heat, creates a bunch of different problems that eventually stars your engine for oil and destroys the engine. One of the other common issues is cooling system problems. Water pump and fan clutch are popular to go bad right around 100,000 miles on these. I've experienced that myself a few times. And you have to take care of those pretty much right away or you'll run into head gasket issues, which you really want to avoid. If you notice some misfiring, it could be plugs, but it more likely is coil issues. And then another semi-common problem is cam and crankshaft sensor issues. Basically, you come out, truck won't start. It's likely one of those two things causing your problem. The other option, if you're noticing some misfires, or it's running a little rough, is throttle body cleaning. They are pretty sensitive to needing the throttle body cleaned. Now, moving on to the transmission, and transmissions are always a hot topic when we're talking about Dodges. Transmission is somewhat reliable. Not as reliable as other manufacturers, but they don't have a ton of failures. They are sensitive to maintenance. You gotta do your fluid changes and keep up with them. They do have some leaks and different things from time to time. Overall, I really don't hate the transmission in these, but it is probably more likely to fail than the engine. Moving on to the interior, this is where the Dakota separates itself from the other small trucks on the market. And I don't mean that in like interior quality or luxury. It's not that. It's just space. These were designed to be a little bit bigger, offer a closer to full-size truck experience than the other small trucks on the market. And in that regard, I think they did a pretty good job. I like the size of this much more than I do the Rangers or the S10s, even though I like those trucks just fine. I think that this is a better compromise than those vehicles. As far as wear and tear, I actually got to say I'm fairly impressed. They don't have as much of a prevalent dash crack problem. They still have it. The plastics are very similar to the full-size trucks that the interiors basically fall apart, but it just seems like they hold up a little bit better in these trucks. What they do have that's common with the full-size Dodge trucks is electronic sort of gremlins and issues. Door locks and windows, even though this one has roll-up windows, you should be good on this one, but switches, things like that kind of fail across all of the Dodges of this generation. The other electronic things to look out for is the Dodge factory radios are terrible. This buttons kind of go bad and act funky. And then My biggest gripe is HVAC issues. They are very, very common for having blend doors and resistor issues where your heat and air does not work as you properly want it to. Now we're in the back row, and I can't help but mention the space things again. This is a much more spacious interior than the other small trucks on the market. I got decent legroom. I mean, we're not talking about a full-size vehicle here. I got decent legroom, and even though the headliner's fallen down a little bit, I still got headroom. Other than that, I have almost nothing to talk about back here. It is not luxurious. There's no options. It's just a place to sit, and really, it does that part pretty well. Pulling out onto the road in our 2002 Dodge Dakota. I have not driven one of these for a very long time. I actually never owned one. I did have several of the Durangos of this generation though, and they were pretty similar. As soon as we get out onto a little bit more main road here, not in a neighborhood, we'll do a pull. But I will say it seems to shift through the gears really well. Not something Dodge is known for, but it seems to be working pretty good. I do hear a little bit of that exhaust tick from the manifolds. It'll probably quiet down a little bit as we drive and it heats up. One of the things before we get on the road I'll mention is this does have a check engine light on it. Pretty much every Dodge has a check engine light on it. That is just common. You can run the codes, but 99% of the time it is an evap code. This one, however, is actually for thermostat. All right, here we go for a little pull. Okay, it does not have a lot of power. People said that these little 3.7s were kind of a dog, and that seems to be about right. The more desirable engine is definitely the 4.7. That's kind of why I've mentioned it a few times. Plus, this 3.7 is essentially, from what I understand, a 4.7 with the cylinders chopped off. So they share a lot of the same common problems. This just has a little bit less power. These do supposedly get a little bit better fuel mileage than the 4.7 at 14 and 17. People kind of dispute that a little bit online from everything I've seen. Real world, I think, is a little bit less. And the 4.7 is really about the same, just slightly worse. I will say, as we're out here, I do notice a little play in the steering. I mean, that's gonna be pretty common on any trucks from this age and miles and stuff. Dodge does have more problems with control arms, bushings, all of that type of stuff in your steering. You're gonna run through probably a little bit more often. The other thing is these do have some brake issues with like brake lockup, calipers going bad, just some odd stuff that you gotta look out for. They'll run through brake pads and stuff. So you gotta keep that in mind when you're looking at one. Luckily, before driving this, I recently got to drive a Ranger, which I had also not driven in several years. And it's interesting to contrast those because the Ranger feels so much smaller inside. This definitely feels more like a proper vehicle. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it's definitely a different experience. You feel like you're driving something of size, but not quite up, with the full-size truck size. I think back to all of the small trucks back from these generations, and all of them, in my experience, and I've been around all of them a little bit, they're all pretty functional vehicles. Like, they kind of run forever. They definitely all have their quirks and some common problems, just like this, but they actually, if you need a little truck to run around in, they're not really a bad option. Back from our test drive, and now it's time to decide if this thing is a buy or a bust. Now, this is one of the more difficult vehicles for me to nail down a price for you on. I would say you could get a very nice one for somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000, but there's plenty if you look on Marketplace for anywhere between $700 and $3,000 that actually might run okay too. These trucks offer a ton of value for that money. They're a little bit larger than the other small pickups that are on the market. They are pretty reliable overall, not without their issues. The biggest downsides really are that you got to keep up with the maintenance, and it's going to be tough to be able to tell that unless someone has records, and no one has a record on a 2002 Dodge Dakota. But really, I feel pretty comfortable. If the engine sounds good, you're not getting any major ticking. If the oil's clean, that's a good sign. Beyond the oil, the next thing to check is just the coolant. Make sure that the coolant looks clean and is filled up and that you don't have any overheating issues. If those things check out, then I feel pretty comfortable to call this a buy. It is dependent on checking them out a little bit more than other things and to make sure that it is not a complete rust bucket. But they offer a ton of value, like I said. They drive pretty well. And if you need a little pickup to get around, I really don't have a big issue with these at all. Now, if you have a Dodge Dakota and I haven't offended you too much in this video, put your thoughts down below. Let me know if you love them, hate them, what problems you've had, and what I missed in this video. Thanks for watching. I am really cold. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Good.
See how excited I am to be out here? I don't want to do YouTube videos anymore. Dude, when the one wind gust hit me, I was like, all right, that's it. Give me some numbers. Give me some numbers right now. Oh, wait, let me take this down.
These are ling-longs, by the way.
Yes, they are. I bought a lot of cheap. I ain't never had a set of ling-longs. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll show the dash from the back.
Seat good? You like that position?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think about it. No, I don't. Okay. $500 summer. Oh wow. Okay. Do I need to run a little bit? Get a little heat in me?